Okay, this reading is for Libra, May 2020, of course, and I've broken it down into 4 weeks, so 2 cards for each week. And in the first week here, oh, also, and remember, it's for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. So, be sure to watch the other videos that cover your Moon and Ascendant if they're not also in Libra, if you're not a double or triple Libra. But for the first week here, we do have a couple of holidays, May Day and Cinco de Mayo. And it may be one of those weeks where you really want to get out and, be out as usual. And in most states, unless you're an essential worker or someone on the front lines, which I'm so grateful for all the healthcare workers, all the essential workers, all the firefighters, all the just everyone that has to be out, the EMTs, all emergency medical people, and everyone that's connected to them that supports them. I'm so grateful for all of you. So for this first week, though, I would say that the best way you can use the energy with the opportunities that will be coming your way is to trust in your entrepreneurial spirit. Trust in your courage that's inside, your inner courage that can create something new. See how he has a salamander here on his t-shirt? And of course, he's carrying a wand of fire, and he's a king, so this doesn't have to be gender specific. It can be any gender. It's often the court cards, the kings, queens pages are often, and the knights are often aspects of, our movement in life. And the kings are all about the structure, holding a container of something that a way of living for your life. So with the King of Wands, I mean, that is the energy and consciousness of wanting to take care of all the people that you love. And, it's very open and giving and loving. Unless it's, in the inverted type of energy. And then in that case, you're dealing with someone who's, arrogant and pushy and my way or the highway kind of thing. But, can be controlling. And any of the, whenever we're in a position of power, we always have to be careful to not, be controlling of others. So it's the energy of surrendering. So trust your creative spirit. Trust the courage that wants to well up from within and create something new. But for this week, it'll be a week of just letting go. Just letting go and surrendering to not having to do anything. I mean, the King of Wands always wants to have things going in the right direction, and the challenge here with the Hanged Man is to trust that the universe within you, and that is everywhere, this life force, this life stream that we're living in, has a divine intelligence to it. And it takes the courage, to me, these two cards together means it takes a lot of courage to drop in and just let things be. Now, of course, let's say if you are on the front lines working, you have to work and you have to get out there, you have to take care, you're doing your job. But this is a very protective card, so I would say protect yourself even more than you normally would, in your work. If that's the case, if that's what you're doing, and then for the rest of us who are not and who are blessed enough to be able to, well, or there's blessings with everything, but the combination of these two cards, I would just say, just have the courage to let yourself be more this week than ever. Let yourself not push yourself any more than you absolutely have to. Let yourself let yourself just go and let things kind of take care of themselves. I mean, of course, do what is your responsibility. Take care of what you're meant to take care of, and then the rest you have to let go. I mean, there's a lot of light here around her head, and again, this is not gender specific. Her heart is open, and the open heart here, the posture of the open heart, has to do with when you do open your heart and you can let go, you can let go and let the cosmos take care of you. Let the divine intelligence in the world that is created under some divine order. I mean, if it weren't, we would have fallen off of the earth a long time ago, right? Like we're spinning, where the earth is rotating at 67,000 miles an hour and it's spinning through a galaxy. So we have to trust that there's something holding us all here and holding it together. And just to let go into that, and then to open your heart and let go of any mental concepts. Let the mental concepts that don't support you, that are not loving for you and others in your life, just let those go. I see this as letting go of false beliefs, and then looking at the false beliefs, questioning them from all different angles, to see if it's true. Like, is this really true? Whatever it is, it could be a false belief, something like, I have to work really hard in order to make money. I have to, bleed to succeed. I have to, whatever it is. It's not true. It can be true sometimes, but it's not going to be true all of the time. And it could be that there's something up for healing in that realm. And especially, it could be that something's up for healing in the realm of having more courage, just to trust your heart and trust the universe, and then just let it go. Just surrender it. Whatever these false beliefs are, just surrender them. They're not who you are. It's just one little piece of rigidified mental concept. It's like Barbara Brennan, I'll quote her, she said that these false beliefs, these images, these misconceptions, these wrong conclusions are nothing more than frozen psychic time conglomerates. And they reside in our soul substance. It takes a lot of courage to face them and get them out and through and regenerate and bring new life force in. And it's a surrender. It's a complete surrender to let them go and let the universe teach you. Ask your higher self. Ask if it's God is the word for you. Ask the universe. Ask spirit, whatever, great spirit, Allah. I don't care what it is you want to call it. Ask that divine intelligence that's within you and is everywhere that we are living in. Ask that to teach you. This card is definitely about teaching a new way of being, a new way of flowing through life. It's definitely a flow here. I love how she's hanging from silks. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, and then the second week, we have Mother's Day in here. We also have the full moon. And it's in Scorpio, though. It's not in Libra. But if you have, you'd have to look and see. You'd have to look it up online to see what degree it's at, and then figure out what house that's in. And that will be the area of your life that will be very full, and maybe have something that you need to release, but there are tons and tons of great astrologers on YouTube, so I won't delve any more into that. I'll let you go and look where you want to look. But for this week, in this second week here, I see this card as being the inner strength that a person can experience when they're willing to look at all of the unconscious material that can hold us back. I see it in the true sense of the word, the true strength, the sense of the word strength as being inner strength that comes when you've questioned your false beliefs, when you're operating under a false belief. It's often unconscious. And that's the beauty of life, is that it brings everything right to our face so that we can't escape it. So when you're working through all of the unconscious false beliefs, you're becoming aware. And as you become aware, you can be even more gentle, with yourself. It's a very heart opening. This is a very Leo card. It's a very sun, sun in Leo, the sun shining. It's like the infinite sun that is always coming through us. The inner warmth that can come through constantly if you open to it. And so with the infinity, symbol up here on her arm, it's a reminder to always open to the new way of being that can come through you, that can be even more gentle and nurturing and loving, and it doesn't have to force anything. If you have inner strength, you don't have to force things, because you're more comfortable when things don't come just the way you want them or in the time that you want them. When you're in alignment with your inner will, excuse me, you're operating from a whole different reality. You're not having to push. And from that place, you can really drop into the energy and consciousness of the King of Pentacles, which is fantastic here. I mean, if we look at this, we have the Ten of Pentacles later on here, and with the Hierophant. These are some really beautiful cards. These are wonderful cards for the whole month. And so, but when you have the inner strength to move through life, knowing that life is really here, the reason that we're here on the planet primarily is to find our false beliefs, to get in touch with our misconceptions, with our wrong conclusions about ourselves and life, and of course others. So when we're moving through life constantly questioning our false belief, having the courage to constantly question the false beliefs, and then surrendering and letting the little ego, go through the transformation process and align the healthy ego, that's where we're headed. That's what it's about. And as we do that, we come into the experience. Now, it doesn't mean life is going to be, perfect, because it never is on Earth. We don't get that here. We didn't incarnate at this address to have that. But I mean, the only thing that's perfect is the place where you can constantly dive in and look for the false beliefs, and then open your heart to yourself to change and forgive yourself, forgive others, forgive the situation, and then move forward. As we do that, we ground more of our spirit, more of our spiritual essence, more of who we really are. We ground it into our body. And from that place, we can structure our life. The kings, remember, are always about structure. We can structure our life coming from our spiritual essence. Wand energy is very much about, the fire within. And we can bring that down into our body or envelop it out. It's not like it's outside of us. It's already inside of us, in our core. But the more that we breathe life into the right channels into our body, that means that we let go, we transform that energy current it's all one already, but was previously inverted and going into the wrong directions. So let's say we were active in the wrong directions and pushing too hard, living from a place of fear where we think that there's not, enough. We're not enough. Or maybe we have a false belief that we're too much and we have to, dampen things down within. But we're learning the wand energy, and bringing it into the body. We're learning about managing it through the body. We're learning how to manage our own power. And as we do that through the body, we will have more and more sustainable energy that is, where your life force is used in the right way. And it will play out into all areas of your life. And then coming into the third week, it looks like there's extra energy, extra passion, extra life force that will come in. And even though it looks like it's dropped into her mind, the Ace of Wands is like the universe handing you the power, handing you a wand that's lit and says, what do you want to look at? What do you want to create? What do you want to do with this? You've got the power. You have it within you. You know, it's like Dorothy with her slippers on, you know, it was always within you. So it's always within you. And then the challenge here with the Hierophant is to know that it is within you. He's laughing. He's sitting here laughing because he learned by all his meditation and going within, he learned that the power is not out here, it's actually in here. He was under the false assumption that you just have to go higher and higher, which, you know, on another level, if you look on another level, it is the journey to your higher self. But when you get in touch with your higher self, the real you, your real self, you know, your divine intelligence within, your angelic essence, your whatever you want to call it, you're going to find it's within you. I mean, it's up there and out there and everywhere too, but it's within you. And so the Hierophant is also a very group-oriented card. It has to do with teaching and learning and sharing information, sharing just being together. And, you know, it can be like a meditation group. And, of course, all this can be online, doesn't have to be in person. And so I'm getting that this week will have to do with opening up to new ways of being and sharing with a group and having a lot of fun doing it and getting a lot of self-satisfaction out of it. So that's wonderful. You can't go wrong there. But of course, you know, you guys leave me comments and let me know, you know, how this turned out for you. Because it could be a whole new way that I hadn't thought of here, that I hadn't gotten. So, you know, of course, I'm not perfect. So you guys are going to have to fill me in and let me know how it actually played out. Now, the last week here, we have Memorial Day weekend. So it might be a little bit more of a loose and fun weekend, although, you know, not all of us are going to be going out. But it could be a backyard gathering with, you know, family members that are together. Or, you know, there could still be the social distancing, but you're out in nature. But for the most part, I see this as being a week of opening up to what you love. And the nights are all about movement. So there's a movement here to a heart-opening experience and, you know, loving and giving. And imagination as well, like, you know, what could we do? What could we do that's fun? What can I do to get together with the people that I love and care about, even if I can't be face-to-face with them? I can't be in the blissful presence of their, you know, their you know, company. But for the times that we're in right now, you know, we're not going to be able to do that. So we're going to have to be really creative to move forward, sharing our gifts of love for each other, and figuring out, you know, how do we do? Can we have a picnic online? Can we FaceTime, you know, 4 of our family members and friends, or whoever we want to, you know, hang out with, or maybe we call them one at a time and whatever, and have a toast of some kind of anything with them. But also it can be just sending love notes. It's very much, you know, this card is very much about love notes. The only challenge with this card, the only thing that usually the only issue I ever see with the Knight of Cups is when we're in that realm of codependency and giving to get. You know, like expecting something in return for your, you know, your sharing your love, or just rescuing. That energy of rescuing can come up. So you have to be careful about that, because there might be something here about, you know, needing to rescue some family member. And if you don't feel really called to do it, if you feel like there's some enabling that could be going on, then you have to look at that and you have to work with that, you know, within. It doesn't mean that you don't help them. It just means that, you know, you're aware of what you're doing, and you're careful, and you're learning about your process, you know, as you go through it. But if it's not that, of course, that would be in the most challenging situation. But hey, we're all here to learn those, dependency and codependency dynamics. That's for darn sure. So if it's not that, it can just be a really fun week where you do get together and share your love, and it's with more than just your immediate family. It has to do with anyone who's an extended family member. And I mean, if we just look at this here, we have the grandparents and we have the kids, and this card is very much, or I guess these are just regular parents, but normally in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, we have grandparents and parents and children and the dog. Might even be another dog, I can't remember. But anyway, the Tree of Life is here, the Kabbalah, the Tree of Life is here. This card is the epitome of having all that you need, all that you want, and of course it's within, right? That's our lesson, to learn that within every cell of our body is the divine spark that can always renew. We can always change, and we can always create this inner strength. On another level, it has to do with inheritances and your legacy that you will leave behind. Maybe you're focusing on how to be more loving and letting your love be your legacy, and it doesn't have to do with anything to do with how much money you earn or how so-called successful you think you need to be. Maybe true success is just to be able to love yourself going through the challenges of being a human being. I mean, we're a spirit in a human body, and negotiating that relationship within can be very challenging. So let's see if I see anything else here. For some reason, these two cards here are calling out to me, and so I want to say just to have the courage to structure your life in a way that allows for lots of giving and receiving of the, in the earthly realms. The pentacles always relate, pentacles here and here, always relate to the material resources that we have, and it's our bodies, it's our health, and these are two very healthy cards here. It's our bodies, it's our health, it's, it's our money, of course, but it's all resources. The way that we're held on the earth, where we have everything we need. We just have to, work for it, and that can be fun. Yeah, okay, so I think that's it. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and give me a little thumbs up if you did like the video. And again, your comments are so welcome and loved. If you have questions, please drop them in the comment section, and I promise I'll get back to you. And yeah, that's it. Okay, so meanwhile, I'll see you talk to you next month, be here next month, and take very, very good care. Be safe.